I always held myself in like this positive note internally as, oh, everything's fucked up and I've been through a lot of fucked up shit, but I'm handling it pretty well. And it took a lot of deep diving to realize that I haven't been handling it well. I've been burying it with alcohol and sarcasm and working. I think like my newest clarification that I've come to is when I got out of the military, the training wheels came off in life. The military was a good place for me to hide because everyone else was putting on a front, which I was professional at. You chase the carrot for the promotion, who's going to be the best? And I'm extremely competitive. So I get praise because I'm physically better, mentally understand things faster than most people. When I got out of the military, no one really cared about the competitive nature. So I drowned myself into education. People praised me because I went and did college faster than most people and multiple master's degrees, job offers all over the place. But the training wheels came off with the education portion when I hit the real world and got married. You know, when life settled and I didn't know how to hide them anymore because there wasn't a carrot to chase. It was like, get up, go to work, come home, take care of the kids, sit there, watch TV, clean the house, go to work. The anxiety that I used to be able to bury in the hard tasks, which was military or the education or the grind, was no longer there. So I had to actually face it. So now facing it, the anxiety, really the evil face of what I went through really started to come to head, which I buried the anxiety with alcohol, which then when you start that pattern of drinking on the way home from work to get rid of the monotony, then the pattern starts to develop an issue. And when the issue starts to happen, everything unravels, the wheels come off. And then now you have issues with people, your spouse, you have issues with your family, you have issues with the neighbor. The little things that usually shouldn't trigger you are triggering you because you're not dealing with the underlying issue. What the underlying issue is you and what you went through, and no one talked about it. As you know, like my background with my family, with stepfather, really digging into your videos and me mentally. And I listen to a lot of podcasts on the other end. Is someone that doesn't cry. It broke me down in my truck driving home.
Nice.
Like I get emotional even thinking about it because I realized things I didn't even remember came to head. And it took a lot of running, like getting up at 4:30 before the kids got up, go for a run, go for a walk, stay outside, get clarity to really understand what the memories started coming back and the pain. And I think you described this as there's a kid in the closet that never moved from that point, and that I became the protector of that kid, which is why I think I did so well in the military and why I maybe pipe up too much when I see a wrongdoing. And I just went through this with a family member that I saw something really wrong that it wasn't my place to say something, but I said it, but I didn't say it in a way that wasn't responsible, I guess you could say. It was a way of, it was more of a fuck you, you're wrong, you need to acknowledge it. And then I became the asshole of the entire situation.
Of course.
So the issue was, so what I'm learning is I need to stop protecting the child that was abused. I hate using trauma. I think the word trauma triggers me for some reason, and abuse triggers me. The kid that had some wrongdoing, I had to take a step back and understand that it's not always my place and that I can deal with this now. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do with my life. I went from being the kid that was lost, construction, bartending, partying. There was that moment of clarity where you're like, you know what? I need to do something different with my life. I was told my whole life, you're going to go work in a union. You're going to be an electrician or a plumber. You're not good at school. You're not that smart. Let's get you in a trade. And I remember the exact day where I was like, fuck this. Was a day. It was 85 degrees, sun beating on me. And I was stacking rocks on a construction site for a family member. And they was telling me I was doing it fucking wrong. And I was like, you know what? This is bullshit. There's something better in life. And if I have to go suck it up in the military and get talked down to, at least I'll have college. And if I fail at college, at least I'll have something behind my name that would have some weight, except for the bartender, the mason, or the electrician. And there's nothing wrong with that. I work in construction now. I'm more on the management side. And I it's funny that I went through so much to come back to this, but I get fucking paid now a lot more than so that's all it's all about, is making money for your family. And I went from medical device to government to now back to construction, and it fits me. Being on a job site, getting dirty, I love it. I fucking love it. My old routine would wake up hungover, get the kids off to school, kiss the wife, go to work, get through the day, get home, play with the kids, go to sleep. My new routine is alarm goes off at 4:45. I go for my run. I love being outside in the summertime. The wintertime, I'm going to switch to the gym. I get home, help the wife with the kids, get ready for work, take the kids to daycare as much as I can if I don't have to be at work. And I'm off to work, and I manage high scale construction projects. We focus on K through 12 schools in Massachusetts. A little bit about me is I'm 41 years old. I'm married to my wife, Laura, which is my rock and probably saved my life, to be honest with you. We have 2 kids, Reagan and Quinn. It's 3 and just turned 1.
God,
and we have another child on the way.
When you approached me to join the program, like what was the main thing going on that was a problem?
So I was looking for a long time for someone that I can confide in, someone that can point me in the right direction. And I think any guy looking for advice on Instagram or whatever, and you come across these very good experts in what they do, but all they do is tell you, get off your ass, go to the gym. There's no substance behind it. A friend of mine came across a friend of mine, had great results with you. I worked with him in the past when I worked for the government. He's a great human being. He went through some struggles. I don't know it personally. We're not very close, but just watching his progress made me think, fuck, maybe this is something that could work for me. It took a little bit for me to kind of drop the ego and just reach out. The main reason why I reached out is because I felt like I was about to lose everything by my actions. I was self-sabotaging every aspect of my life, all the progress that I made, all the hard work. And this is the most important thing. I was losing confidence for my wife. And I just want to say my wife is, I said, my rock. She is the most important to me in the world, but my girls as well, my daughters as well, but she is everything to me. And to see the look in her eyes coming home and me just being drunk is just not, it wasn't right and not fair to her. It wasn't the commitment that I made to her. That was my point of no return. It was, I have to change. I'm not perfect and I've made mistakes through the process. I let the anxiety get a hold of me, and I did, I'm learning coping skills as I go along, dealing with my mother moving back close to me, dealing with family, dealing with stress of work and just stress of life, and just, feeling like sometimes it's all on me and I have to be the provider. I have to be the strong one. Sometimes it gets to you. And there's been days where I sat in front of the liquor store in my truck on my phone, just listening to your videos, and it's helped. But there's been days I've been weak and I've been like, fuck this. I can have 4 beers, be fine. And the next thing I know, I've hit 3 liquor stores on the way home because it's an hour ride. Not only am I putting myself in danger, I'm putting my family in danger and other people, and it's bullshit. And I'm at the point now where I'm seeing my triggers and I'm seeing where the issues are lying. And, this last time that I spun, I've made a commitment to my wife, and it hasn't been that long ago. I've said it to her face, but I said it to myself that this is it. There is no casual drinking anymore. It's time to really get my shit together. And it's really a day-to-day monotonous task. It's really, I found that I am very good on a schedule and a checklist, and I need checks and balances through the day, which is, putting on one of your podcasts or listening to Ed Milet, which is for some reason always grounds me, or, working out an extra time in the afternoon, or focusing on my home, or focusing on my girls. And I'm trying to shift from the negativity in my head to more of the positivity of what I have. I knew if I continued down that path, I would destroy my marriage. What I saw in my head, if I continued, was having weekend with my girls and everything I worked for go away, and I told you, I think from our first time we talked, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared. And I was.
Why did you choose to work with me and do the program, over another program or Ed Milet's program or whatever?
I chose you because when I reached out, I talked to, and I can't remember her name off the bat. It was,
Nicole.
It was more of an Nicole. It was more of an interview. I got off the phone and I was like, I don't know how that went. I don't know where this is going to go. But you reached out to me personally, and you said, I have experience with this. And you gave me your historical background on what Skip went through and what you went through. And the fact that you personally reached out to me, this wasn't let's get someone in the door and then we'll push them onto something. This was you personally reached out to me, which that to me meant everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I felt heard for the first time. It wasn't, hey, stop being and this is what I've gotten in the past. Quit being a pussy, go to the gym, you'll feel better. It was, hey, you're scared, let's get you taken care of. I've seen results. I mean, a friend of mine that went through his own shit, and I mean, he lose like what, 50 pounds, 40 pounds, and he seems happy as hell. Just running through the videos and seeing the relationship by design. I mean, I've listened to those probably 100. I mean, I have an hour ride home every day. I put the podcast on and I just listen. Some are very targeted to what my situation is. Some are very disconnected, and it's good to hear maybe a different perspective. Maybe Laura feels this way. Getting a different perspective and understanding that I'm not the only one going through this. I mean, you can sit down and talk about your family, your past with other clients. I felt that was extremely helpful. I felt that initially I felt heard, I felt grounded, and I felt like I had a focus and kind of like a task list to go through. And like I said prior, I do really well. Like, okay, checklist, you have these 30 videos you have to listen to. There's some are 20 minutes, some are an hour, some are 5 minutes. And like I said, some of them I can get maybe that 1 minute gives me a snippet to think about. When I was at my lowest, when I contacted you, I felt like no one actually knew who I was or what I had inside me. Yes, I went through this military stuff and past trauma, but like, I want to help kids. Like, I want to volunteer. I want to help people. I want to be there to support. I have like a different, softer side that people just saw this guy just trying to fit in. And I think the more I tried to fit in, the more it pushed people away. And the more I danced to try to get people's attention, which caused more frustration, which caused anxiety, which steamrolled through the fuck my entire life. To be honest with you, I don't even like being drunk. I think I'm on a loop with alcohol. And I think it was such a habitual habit for 20 years that when I'm tired and I'm anxious and I'm depressed, my mind literally, I found myself in the liquor store parking lot on the phone without even thinking about it. What I'm trying to do is get up at 4:45 and get that fix in running 5 miles. I mean, I live in a super hilly neighborhood. I've challenged myself on fucking pass out from running instead of fucking booze. Your wife is going to like you in shape instead of passed out on the couch at 4:00 in the afternoon because you were too hungover to go to work. But then you went to the liquor store anyway.
When do you drink now? I guess is my question.
Now I'm not drinking at all. I thought for a short amount of time that when I would start to feel, this is another kind of an issue I had, I would be where I'm at right now and I'd feel really fucking good. I'm going to the gym. I'm doing everything right. And then Friday comes. And it's like, all right, let's celebrate. And my mind would go to this, like, I could have a few. I'll go home and let's split a bottle of wine. And then, hey, you know what? No hard alcohol. I'll just have Corona. It's all fucking bullshit. It's all alcohol. Because when you get into the state of mind, when you get buzzed, now I'm looking for anything harder. Oh, I'm just going to run to the store real quick. I need a can of dip and I'm going to grab milk for the kids. And then what's next to the convenience store, the liquor store? And I'm like, shit, I'll just get 4 quick Fireball. And then she's not going to know what's going on. I'll go home and finish those Corona, we'll go to bed, get up, play with the kids. Not in a position anymore to have that luxury where I can just casually drink. It's just not in the cards for me now, or probably anytime soon, maybe never. I don't know. But right now I'm in a position where I don't want to sacrifice this progress for what the fuck am I going to get out of it?
We've been drunk.
It doesn't do, I don't even like it. What am I? And there's a quote that I've seen recently was everyone's walking around with these emotional issues and bills and they're celebrating like they hit the fucking lotto. Like, what am I celebrating?
What are you celebrating?
I got shit to do. I got things to do. I need a clear mind. I got kids to raise. And until I can have 1 or 2 beers at an event, there's no fucking point of me even touching it because the only thing it's going to do is destroy the progress. My routine would be, 6 weeks doing great, spin for 2 days, go back on it. And it's just like a circular motion. But here's my opportunity right now to not do it again. Show my wife that I'm not full of shit when I say it. This is the last time.
I used to drink every day as well. I come from an alcoholic and I have addictive personality like you, Chris. Grant Cardone, if you've never read his book, Be Obsessed or Be Average, highly recommend go listen to that Audible.
Good.
He was, and did you read it? Listen to it?
I did. It's great.
fuck, it's great, man. He's just like we are. And a lot of successful motherfuckers are just like we are. We've got a ton of energy. And if we don't use it properly, we will drug, we will gamble, we will cheat, and we will drink. And that's so it's okay, but it's just not okay to give into that. But dude, alcohol, like, we don't miss it. People are friends now, like, do y'all just not drink? I'm like, we'll take a few sips, but man, I don't like how it makes me feel, to be honest. I like being clear-headed, and I just don't like anything fuck with my energy. It's like I lose a day or I lose something. It's like being around a negative mother-in-law or something. It's like it takes a minute to shake that shit off. So where do you think you'd be right now if you wouldn't have taken action and just got real with me and said, you know what, let's do it?
I'd probably be in the process of losing everything, to be honest with you. Like, if I didn't commit, probably would be looking at a very my wife, I just want to go ahead and say again, is an amazing human being. She's been rock solid wife. There's nothing negative ever coming out of her. She's nothing but supportive, always there for me no matter what. But like you said, everyone's got their limits. There's going to have to be a point, especially when children are involved, where the shit's got to stop. Yeah. And if I wasn't stopping and I wasn't figuring this out, then what would her option? It wasn't fair to her. Yeah. And I was looking at losing everything. Probably I could always good at bullshitting my way through work if I needed to hungover, but I'm not gonna progress. I'm not gonna, where would I be? I don't know. And it wouldn't be a positive place. And I'd probably be fighting for everything that I've worked really, really hard for. I would say that 90% of the people I know that I got out of the military with are in a worse situation than me.
So sad. That is
with drugs, drinking. I mean, I hear on a monthly basis. This is why I got off Facebook, because it was depressing to hear who died, how or why, or suicide, or drove drunk off a bridge, or heart attack at 35 years old. Like, you can't even recognize these people, which they used to be immaculate condition. Now you look at them online, it's just a shell of who they are. I wish more people would reach out for help.
What the government tries to give you is bullshit. Like, it's bullshit help.
You know what they gave me? They gave me Adderall and Xanax. Do you know what that was good for? Drinking longer and going to sleep. That's what they gave me. That was their cocktail. The VA is garbage. And I tried to book a mental health. My wife and I were sitting on the phone. We were in the car. She was laughing. I was like, hey, I need to get in to talk to someone. It was July. They said next appointment. And I remember this specifically because it was my birthday. This next appointment that you can get in is December 9th.
Fuck, dude.
And I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing it. I'm never going back to the VA again. And then they try to take my benefits away from me because I'm not going there. Dude. So I got to interview with them to say I'm doing worse or the same, so they don't take my rating away from me.
If there's anybody watching this or listening to this podcast and they're on the fence about booking a call, the call that you did with me and Nicole, what would you say to them if they're on the fence?
Get off the fence. You have a problem and you know you have a problem. Like, what would be the point of putting it off any longer? Your problems are not going to go away. Your life is not going to change until you change it. Shit in, shit out. If you put shit into your body, you're fat. It's the fact. Like, if you don't work out, you're not going to be in shape. If you don't heal your fucking bullshit, then you're gonna be exactly where you're at or worse in the future. Anybody sitting on the fence saying, why, maybe I'll call, maybe I won't. Like, if you feel that you have a problem and you're at home and you're depressed and you're anxious, drinking your problems away, then you're not living the life that you're supposed to be living. Just fucking call. If you have children at home, why don't you give those kids the best life that you can give them? Because why the fuck else would you have children? That is my goal. Is my wife and those kids, because I wasn't part of that mission from someone else. So I want to give my kids that so their kids can have a phenomenal life.
People think that, oh, I got to get up at 5 a.m. No, you don't. No, the hard work is it's when you start having your shit and you want to revert to your old ways and you having to sit with it and process it and find out why you feel that way and then reframe it. You know what I mean? That's the hard work. You don't have to get up at 5 a.m. You get to get up at 5 a.m.